Well, howdy friends, welcome to The Songs We Carry. I'm Ansley The Destroyer. This is a show where we talk to artists about the music that has influenced them and how that has shaped their own songwriting through time, and we talk about stories. We tell stories here. Today, I have a very special guest for you guys because this is one of my closest friends here in Nashville. She is a staple figure here in our music scene. She runs an open mic and she hosts several different feature showcases throughout the year. Please welcome to my show, Angie Jayne.
Hi.
Welcome,
Hello.
Angie.
Hi.
Very exciting to have you here in my living room.
I love your living room.
Yes. We've spent some time here before, haven't we?
Many times.
We sure have. But today we're here to talk about some music. If you don't know, on this show I have artists bring to me 3 songs that have really heavily influenced them through time. And so we're going to talk about those 3 songs now. The first one is our Bjork tune. Right? Yeah. Yes. Called Pagan Poetry. Mm-hmm. Tell me about why this one came to your head whenever you were picking these songs out for me.
So, I think a lot of songs that really hit deep in my core of my personality is like huge moments, huge pivotal moments in my life. And I remember I was 17 years old and I was dating someone who was much older, and he introduced me to Bjork, and he was a kind of interesting dude who, like, I think would be the male version of Bjork. But
oh boy,
yeah, just, you know,
the world's not ready for a male version of Bjork, I don't think.
He introduced me to her, and I remember when I was going through just a lot of like really hard times, I listened to that song and it resonated to me in a deeper way than even just listening to lyrics and even, you know, just like watching like the imagery of the music video that she has along with it. It's like, it is so deep, mm-hmm. In the meaning, because it talks about, you know, the transcendence of love past the public view of what they put on, you know, for us in a society. Marriage and organized religion, it's deeper than that. It's mm-hmm. like a sacred love. It's hidden. In my moments of love that I've felt for people, like when I felt like it was actually truly that deep, that's kind of the song that I would listen to kind of mimic and feel that sensation all over again whenever mm-hmm. I started listening to it, and push me out of my comfort zone musically as well, because I've always wanted to recreate something that's just weird and says the story like that. So
this music video, we got to talk about that, because I had never seen this music video before. I know a little bit of Bjork's work, but I haven't ever really done a real serious deep dive. I love parodies of her and stuff because she's such a one-of-a-kind individual in the world, you know. Yeah. And I think that absolutely shows in her music videos as well. Why don't you tell me about this music video a little bit?
So the imagery of this music video, she has her skin sewn to this beaded embroidery on her skin that kind of like symbolizes a wedding dress.
Yeah, it starts with this like graphic designy thing. It's just these like kind of vibrating red and gray outlines, mm-hmm. right, with a white backdrop. And you start to get the sense that it is like moving in motion, and then you can tell its lips. You know, this is an explicit video, so don't put it on in front of your children. But she is nude without it being sexual. I think trying to get across like this construct of love and this kind of show that we put on, the sort of play of what it is, what we should be looking like in a relationship and in a marriage. At first you just see sort of pearls lining up on a string, and you can't really tell what's exactly happening until about like really like halfway through that video, where you're like, oh, they're sewing that to her. Bjork always has a lot to say in her music videos. Bjork's like language that she uses is not typical, I would say. She's quirky as hell. I love Bjork for that reason. But I think her music videos help us kind of understand what she's trying to convey a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Her imagery is really fascinating. I've always loved Bjork for how weird and intricate and detailed she makes things. That video specifically, I would just watch it and just think about more than just what it's conveying, like something deeper. And it would make me feel that emotion a lot. That song, I don't know, it just goosebumps every time.
I think also there's this tie-in in that video of self-destruction in a performative way. You know how some people, they do these like public art performances where they pierce themselves and then they are hung by their own piercings, right? I think of a lot of that when I think of this video, and that's immediately what tied to my brain. Was she's trying to say something here about self-destruction a little bit too, and the putting on the show of all of that. Do you see any kind of reflection of that in your like life experiences, do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. For me, in life and in my relationships, it's always been, you know, me giving my everything and always like putting on almost like a mask, trying to fit the mold of the person or people that I'm around, and constantly probably hiding the true person that I am, trying to please.
In what ways do you think that you kick open the traditional box?
I don't allow people anymore to tell me how to do my art, to tell me how to be. I am who I am, and I'm proud of it now, as now in my 30s. Like, I've grown into the person that I am, and kicked open that box, and finally listening to the things that are around me and really diving in and understanding myself in therapy, and like learning about more of that's going on in the world around me, and trying to be more aware of my surroundings. And it's helped me find and break open that box that I built around myself when I was growing up, just trying to fit in. And
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe sometimes the box is constructed by ourselves sometimes. And we realize that box doesn't really quite fit us. What is the first song that you're going to play for me today?
Maybe The Allegory of the Cave, because it speaks a lot about hiding in the darkness in your mind, and like whenever it's finally time for somebody to come and show you something new, you're so buried in what you think you know, and that you're too scared to change and see something different. You're scared to come out of that box. You're conditioned from society. You're conditioned to be stuck and chained where you thought was the actual prison, yet you've put yourself there. So that's kind of like my idea about the philosophy of Allegory of the Cave, because it means so many things. It can mean so many things about...
Tell us about the Allegory of the Cave. For people who don't know, tell us about what that is.
Plato wrote about the Allegory of the Cave, describes these men who get captured and they're chained inside this cave. And they're looking outside, and they have this tiny little beam of light that's coming inside of this cave. All they can think about is escaping and getting out, and looking at this light and wondering what it's like on the other side. One day, one of the prisoners do escape, and he comes outside, and then he tries to bring the others with him, like, hey, come on, let's go. And then he tells them about everything on the outside, and they choose to stay. They choose not to go. They don't want what they thought they wanted. Kind of like the grass is greener, like, or they're just so stuck in their comfort of pain that they just stay. And it's, to me, like, so many of us have cyclical patterns that we can't escape, and we're stuck inside this blockade in our own mind that doesn't allow us to progress or succeed in things that we so desperately want to and constantly complain about changing, but we can't. I really wrote the song because I found myself constantly doing that, like being stuck, not knowing how to change. Until I left Houston, I never thought I would. I couldn't travel. I would get sick and not be able to do things because my mind literally told me and made me physically believe that I could not. Feeling trapped in your own body kind of vibe.
When did you write this song?
I think I wrote it in 2019. I was in Houston.
Okay.
But I was starting to make big changes at that time. It was like I was kind of rolling into the person that I'm supposed to be.
And let's rewind, actually. Let's go back. Tell me about where you were before Nashville.
Yeah. So when I was younger, my first kind of musical experience really was being a DJ. And I started there when I was, I want to say 16 years old. And I did the fire dancing and the DJing, and I traveled across all of Texas doing these regional burns and cave raves and, you know, all this stuff. And I was also like big into community in that community as well. I would make these theme camps and do body painting and like all kinds of stuff. I was just like always a community person. Before that, past to present, my parents were musicians. My dad was a jazz and blues pianist, and my mom was the sax and flute player and singer. And all my life they did their thing, and he passed when I was 5, but she and her, you know, whatever new counterparts always played music. And I honestly didn't want to do it at first. I was like, you know, screw this. I really want to just do my own thing. I was always kind of rebellious that way. About the time I became 20 years old, I loved to sing, but I didn't really do it that much really growing up or like professionally or anything. And I remember, you know, I was like, Mom, do you think I can sing okay? And I like sang Oh Darling by the Beatles to her in a bathroom.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And she was like, okay, you got chops, kid. And I was like, all right, shit. So she told her husband, which is my stepdad, Steve, and he's her guitar player, and they like to do open mics around town, and they ran open mics.
Sounds familiar to me.
Sounds familiar. So
apple didn't fall too far from that tree.
No, I sure did not. But so anyway, he just throws a PA at me, and he's like, go get a gig. And I've never touched a PA. I don't know how to do sound. I don't know how to do jack crap of any of it. And so I ended up running into my buddy Cisco, who's a friend of my parents, and he ended up mentoring me, and he taught me sound, and we ran our first open mics together back in 2014. And I was then starting to do them like 3 times a week at different places, like constantly. And then me and him became a duo, and we performed all over Houston and Galveston and, you know, that area. And we traveled to San Antonio and did that stint for a bit in Austin. And and it was like we were like an Americana kind of duo, and I played my flute and my uke, and I sang, and I would use a looper too, and we'd kind of have fun kind of going back and forth soloing. And he was an acoustic bass player, and one of his inspirations was Victor Wooten.
Oh, Victor Wooten. I've read Victor Wooten's book.
Yeah, great book.
Oh, he's pretty... He's
out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
He's very spiritual about the way that he thinks about music, and it's just kind of a fun read too.
I don't know if you know this, but his brother Reggie Wooten, I took a lesson from him.
Oh, cool!
And it was 3 hours long, and it was the coolest lesson I've ever had. And yeah, like he's like they kind of share, I think, a similar mentality about how they view music and everything in between, and the philosophies that they have about life. And I was just kind of taken aback, and I still have his lesson in my like recordings because I kind of go back to it sometimes because he taught me so much within just that one lesson. So I really like them too. After getting the PA and starting my open mics and playing music, I just started doing more in the community. I started throwing like benefit shows. I did a benefit show for Hurricane and Imelda and Dorian victims, and we raised like $4,000, and I gave it to Samaritan's Purse. And I just felt like that work was a calling for me, as well as music. I like both, and I've always liked both. And I think my calling personally is not like just playing music, because I love that. That's a very personal thing for me. It is so personal that I don't often even like to share it that much, you know?
Yeah.
When I do, and I get anybody that feels anything from it. It does make me feel like, hey, I am still an artist. I'm still hanging around in there somewhere.
For sure.
But
yes.
I moved to Nashville in 2021. I had like a really hard kick in the butt when I got here. Like it was,
Everybody does.
yeah, it was a wake up call, and my story is kind of crazy. What I like endured during that time when I got really sick, and then came back and was like, I am no longer letting myself be there anymore, and I'm gonna make my name for myself here and create my life here, because at first, yeah, it was like my community was gone. My friends were gone.
Yeah, I was start from scratch.
I was alone, you know, and it was just weird. It's like you have to start all over. You have to prove yourself. And when I got here, I was like, I feel like there's like this weird gatekeeping kind of feeling, and it wasn't even like maybe the case, but for me, I just felt like out of place. And I was like, well, screw that, I'm going to make my own place so that everybody can feel comfortable and not feel how I felt walking into the city. The city is amazing, and there's so many amazing people in it. It's just about finding the foot in the crack of the door where the people are, and where you can find yourself as an artist, and furthermore, an entrepreneur or anybody that sits well in this community.
We kind of do Island of Misfits sort of thing together there at Creative Pulse, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to be seasoned. You can be brand new. It doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is to share your art with people, and for us to give people a platform to do that, you know? And so, yeah, I think that's very much ingrained in you, not just from Houston, but also here. That is just a part of who you are in your mission, you know? And just the greater mission of Creative Pulse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's meant to facilitate a space for people and have them feel heard. Because I know I spent a lot of my life not feeling heard in many ways. I'm going to change that. I'm going to bust my ass, and I want people to feel like they're worth something, that they have people that are actually truly engaged, and that means the world to people, you know? Because it makes you feel like you're actually a human being.
Yes. Somebody's listening.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. Okay, the song is called The Allegory of the Cave.
Yes.
By Angie Jayne, original song.
Black shackled to the ground with a glimmer of light. Behind moving shadows is a mystery, a phenomenon no one can understand in history. All you can see is shapes across the wall, a barrier of the mind has pulled them all. Men can't break the bonds of human conditions. Curiosity killed the cat and broke superstitions. Past the sun, closed eyes will leave, but always return. what they're fed. Men can't break the bonds of human conditions. Step out of the box encompassing your foundations.
Angie Jayne. Beautiful. Your voice and Bjork's voice, you guys both do this growly thing when you're like getting intense and you're trying to make people pay attention, I think, you know? Is that something that you think from her? Do you think you were doing that before, or do you think you got that from a different artist, or was that just part of your voice naturally? Where do you think that your little Angie growl came from?
I think honestly it was an amalgamation of Bjork, my mom, and then like Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like I kind of just grew up with that because my mom always kind of did that.
Yeah.
And it was funny because for a long time people were like, "Bruh, you're doing it too much." I'm like, I'm sorry.
It's hard. It's fun, you know. So it's hard not to lean it.
But yeah, I mean, eventually, like I don't even notice I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's just there.
The lyrics in verse 2. Tell me again. Read those back to me. Tell me what those words are.
A curious mind looks past the sun. Closed eyes will leave, but always return. Being cut off from the world, like closing your mind, closing your eyes.
With intent.
With intent, and will always return, meaning it's going back to that cyclical pattern that you're going into.
Yeah, if you just shut yourself off to it, you're not actually walking through the journey of healing from it. You're just putting it over there for a while.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of just, you know, being closed-minded, shutting off any opportunities that are present.
What are the next words after that?
The fate of our soul-called souls is bound to be the blockade of existence, the allegory.
Okay, there we go. The blockade of existence, I think, was the lyric that I was like, I don't know. I get a lot of the similarity between this and the Bjork song in the way that you guys are kind of talking about constructs and the idea of breaking an ideal, right? And how sometimes an ideal isn't necessarily real, you know?
Right.
It is just an ideal or a construct. If we're too scared, we'll stay in the cave, so to speak, even just from a mental perspective. If you are curious and brave enough, then you can find more.
Yeah, agreed. Because the curiosity killed the cat kind of was, like, it's explaining essentially, like, the difficulties of actually pushing through and the risk of actually doing something in the unknown, the change that you're making. There's always risk, but without risk, there's no reward. And you have to push through and go through that pain, growing pains, right?
Yes.
So that's, you know, like, it can seriously hurt and seriously, like, put you in a place that you never thought you would be. And you may go through something that's just god awful before you get to the very end. You know, you might fail and you might, you know, scrape and bruise your knees, but you're gonna get there, you know. And that's kind of what throughout my entire life, I feel like with a person who struggles with ADHD and all these other neurodivergent things and other things that my body just loves to do, it's kind of like I never realized what was going on and why I was having all these blocks that were so challenging for me, whereas it seemed so easy for everyone else. And I was just like, this is so hard and I'm so scared. Like all the time. I feel so much fear to take the next step to change. But I do it fucking anyway.
Yeah, right. And, you know, open yourself up to be curious enough to find out what is that like? What is that over there?
Yeah. And I'm a highly like inquisitive person. I love to learn. I love to seek like wisdom, you know? Even though some of it scares me, like you teaching me music theory.
Don't worry. You already have an ear, so it's easy. That's the easy part, okay?
Yeah. And it's like, you know, learning things that seem intimidating and you kind of start avoiding it and you're like, yeah. But it's something that you need to push yourself to do because at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit you, you know? It's only going to make you better, make you stronger.
Next song that we're going to discuss is your favorite person that you have tattooed on you. Yeah.
The illustrious Jeff Buckley.
That's right. What song did you bring me by Jeff Buckley?
The song I brought for you is So Real.
Man, what a killer voice. He could do crazy things. He's like an acrobat.
His range is insane. Like,
yes.
I think, so for him, how I found him was a funny story. I met this guy who's a guitar player, and he would play this song by Jeff Buckley, and I had no idea who Jeff Buckley was, but it was the French song that Jeff Buckley does. And I can't pronounce it, it's in French, but it is such a beautiful song. And I asked him, I was like, who is that? Like, who plays that song? Is that your song? And he was like, no, it's Jeff Buckley. And then he told me to check out this album, and of course it's Grace. And like my mind transcended to another dimension. I was just like, how have I not known about this? Because for me, like this is like the essence of me inside of this man. I call him my dead husband a lot because, like, come on. Although the astrology thing says that we wouldn't be a good match, but I just, you know, I'm just kidding. I don't put stock into everything that way, but I was kind of sad.
That's okay. Well, I mean, okay, well, let's talk about that because Jeff Buckley, you know, there's kind of a lot of mythos around him because he sort of predicted his own death, right? In this record, Grace, he talks about dying all like over and over again on this record, right? And specifically drowning, which is what happened to him. He went swimming with his jeans on in the Mississippi River, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he got taken by the current.
Yeah, he got taken by the current. So sad.
Yeah, no drugs in the system, nothing.
Nothing. Just being crazy a little bit, you know what I mean? Doing some, you know, swimming in a river in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And he had a little bit of fame, you know, before he died, but really posthumously is when I would say most people woke up to how talented he was. And his dad was
Tim Buckley.
Yeah, Tim Buckley was an artist as well.
But he completely surpassed his father in every way. And he didn't even want to be associated with his dad because of the fact that he completely left him and his mom. And he was kind of not, I don't know, like not the best parent or person,
right?
You know, which, you know, put a lot of pressure on him and, you know, probably had a lot of trauma from that, you know, experience.
So Real. Let's get into this specific song. I just took a listen to this morning to kind of brush up. There's so much dynamics going on in this song.
Yeah. Right,
where the band is, oh, that was so, right, where it's like pretty big, especially towards the end.
Well, as you're building that up, you can hear his emotion throughout the song, then finally building to what he's really feeling in that song. And what he's giving in that song is like all the pain from having been in a relationship where you believe like it's gonna be your end all be all, like this is gonna be the person that you're with and you're gonna spend your life with them, and then they rip the rug from underneath you, and it's just devastating because you didn't see it coming. And that's, I feel like, what he's kind of relaying in this song, and like the emotion and the dynamics and the power behind the song as it builds.
Yeah.
And then finally at the end, you can just hear him just breaking down, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really just screaming, right?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't scream at something like that?
Yeah.
Like, having an idea and then, like, your world changes.
Mm-hmm. Right. And he has these, like, quiet moments where he's like, I love you, but I'm afraid to love you.
Right.
He's, like, basically whispering. And he goes from that to, like, this, like, really massive singing, you know? And I can see, like, an emotional tie-in or, like, the motif of kind of something that's, like, kind of back and forth, or something that is that shocking.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, that was really real all of a sudden at me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because, like, you think about the song, he's saying so real. It's like, this has become too real. This pain has become too real. This relationship has become too real. The lack of one, or the relationship itself, the intensity of the feeling that you're getting from this experience. And it's like, God, I know that feeling so much. Like, in both ways. During my time in Texas in 2017, I had a kind of a crazy experience where I bought a house and I was going to build it up. Hurricane Harvey home, so it was completely, like, gutted, and I lived in there, like, glorified tent camping.
Yeah.
I was just so overwhelmed. Like, it was just so much. And I tried to fix it up. And I was in a relationship at the time, and that relationship ended, like, abruptly. And I didn't know what hit me. And I had not a real explanation from the person that I was with, other than, I just don't want to do this anymore, and see you later.
Yeah.
Jeff Buckley filled my ears during that time, because I was just like, this is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. And I'm stuck with this house that I have to fix, or not fix, I don't know. My parents, they also got flooded during that, and they had to gut their entire house. So me and my mom were both simultaneously working to fix both of our homes after the flood.
My mom's from very close to where you're from, and so we're very familiar with all of the hurricane stuff.
Yes, it is a part of Texas culture.
We need to write a hurricane song.
Dude, we threw a hurricane benefit after that. Actually, some friends did. It was called "We'll Play for Food." I didn't throw it. My friends did. But they I think wrote a hurricane song for the entire event, and it was cool. It was like a bunch of people did hurricane songs and then put it on an album.
Oh, cool!
And made a hurricane album.
Well, let's talk about the song that you're going to play me next. Are you going to play me Shadow next? Is that what you decided on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. When did you write Shadow? How long ago did you write this song?
I wrote Shadow in 2018. It was the very first song I ever wrote.
Oh, whoa! Okay. Oh man, this is a great song for your first song. Great work.
I wrote this song in that flooded house.
In that flood house. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Then perfect tie-in.
Yeah. And I remember when I wrote it, because funny, when we get to the next song, that was the song I was listening to. Like, aside from having Jeff Buckley always in my head, I was listening to that specific song. And then I kind of was like vibing when I was writing this song to that song. So all kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, well, let's hear it. This is Shadow.
Told me that I was lightning, igniting fervor to the fire. I knew that it would be hell to try to quell my desire. Driven into endless madness, consumed by cigarette, feeling your love like the filler. High on the darkest night. Now I
Bishop Briggs song.
Yes.
Maybe the most like pop of all the songs that you brought me. In fact, definitively, I would say.
Right.
And the thing that I think is interesting about this one is that it kind of ties back in your EDM roots a little bit.
It does.
You know what I mean? That's what I thought of when I was listening to this song. Tell me about why you brought me this song.
Bishop Briggs is, I don't know, I started following her. I think everybody knows that song, River. It's like a very popular song that she has done.
Yeah.
But like the soul behind her. Plus,
me like a river.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But she has a lot of soul, and she sings from her heart. She sings from her pain, and obviously, like, there's a pattern here. I follow artists that truly sing from their soul. I don't follow artists that are like just very here. You know, like they're not showing anything. They're
Too boring.
Okay? Like,
We like it big.
I respect artists, all artists, but I think that the ones that I am like drawn to are people that have something to say from an experience that they've had. And she, like, despite my tastes, like, I usually am not a big pop person. Like, I don't really listen to a lot of pop. But I think an experience I had in the past with, you know, having had that part of me, the DJing and the you know, the raves and all that stuff, and then the friendships that I had back then. There was a girl that I was friends with. We were best friends at the time, and she was hugely into pop, and I would always kind of like poke fun at her a little bit, and I now know like why did I do that? But like I was just like, you know, I never liked pop. I never liked like mainstream, you know?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I can't say that I didn't, because I did like Usher and I did like Evanescence and I did like you know, there were certain ones.
Quit playing with me like you weren't either a Backstreet Boys or an NSYNC
I
fan.
was.
Get real with me right now. Get real.
We're talking about 90s music. I'm thinking about like, you know,
2010s music.
Yes,
right.
that.
2010s pop and like the boom boom clap and the millennial whoop era. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
90s pop I will listen to all day.
Yeah.
I love 90s pop. That's totally. And early 2000s was cool too.
Yeah.
Like we had some bangers, you know.
Dude, it's tearing on my heart when I'm with you. Get real. It's so good. You know what I'm saying? Get real with me. Come on.
Yeah,
you know, like,
Backstreet Boys was mine. Was NSYNC?
Oh, NSYNC was mine. This is our first, like, one of our first biggest differences between the two of us.
I know, considering.
Yep, both 8-string ukulele ladies, both from Texas. Angie, right? That's like basically one
same
letter
age.
sound difference. Yeah, almost exactly the same age. Like, yeah, a lot of. But here we go. First line in the sand.
I'm like, sorry, bro. I can't believe you're an NSYNC fan,
dude. Yes, I am, because NSYNC is okay. This is a hot take here. Backstreet Boys are like very serious, like very introspective. They take themselves real serious. And NSYNC is like, blum, 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 you know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's like more fun. But it felt like kind of my older, more mature friends. They liked Backstreet Boys because it was like more,
like,
you know.
yeah, like more, like you said, introspective and like emotional, and of course that's me. Like I'm deep.
That makes sense.
I'm fucking super deep, bro.
Yeah.
It, like, I remember going through the McDonald's drive-thru and they had the free VHS of Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
And it was like, I heard about it on a commercial. And I was like, Mom, we got to go.
We must
go. I need to see this VHS. Like, I was so excited. And I remember putting it on and just being like, yeah.
Yes!
This is my shit.
This is my shit. I had the same thing, but I had an NSYNC tape. It was VHS, NSYNC concert tape or something.
I will say, though, I did fucks with Aaron Carter, though.
Yeah.
I want a candy.
Did you ever watch that Lou Pearlman documentary, who was the manager of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys?
I did not watch that.
Okay, this man is a total con man, as it turns out.
Oh, snap.
Stole millions of dollars from both bands.
We gotta get these people out of power.
Died in prison because of all the fraud.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's a whole thing. I'll send you. It's wild. Like, everybody should watch it, and because it's just a crazy story. This man just, in the dumbest way, was able to con everybody. He literally puts a model plane in the frame of a photograph to make it look like he owns planes, like a little toy plane.
What the hell?
And it worked.
People.
The story is wild.
Now we're in the middle of the age of AI, and people get so easily, like, I can't say it's easily fooled because it is so believable and realistic. But moral of the story is, don't believe everything that you see on the internet.
We can no longer.
Like, do your research. Do your research. And do it in the right places, the right sources.
That's right.
I've just realized, like, now I actually see the, there's just little things that you notice about it where you can be like, yeah, that's definitely AI.
I'm like, that seems sussy.
And it's like brain rot, bro. Like,
yeah, truly.
Every time I get on my phone, I'm just like, oh my god, my brain's going to explode.
Yeah.
There's nothing real anymore. And that's why what we're doing here in Nashville is cultivating something real. And these songs and this podcast and Creative Pulse and whatever the hell else that we're doing for the community here in music and arts. They can't take it away from us. They can't take it away from us.
Right. I mean, they literally can't because it's like within us. You know, we can't even help but create music. Like, even if it's just singing cover songs or, gigging at with the buddies at open mic, you know what I mean? Like, we can't help ourselves but create as humans, And that's part of why I wanted to create this show, is just because I just love talking about music and about why we create the things we do, and learning those stories, So let's talk a little bit more about this Bishop Briggs song. This song is called The Way I Do, right? Today, listening to this song that you sent me was the first time I've really paid good attention to it. Tell me about how this song sort of spoke to you when you first heard it, or when you first were falling in love with it.
Yeah, so it was also during that really tough time in 2017. It was one of those songs that I would just listen to on repeat. Just repeat. Because something about what she was saying, it just hit me. It would make me cry. It would make me, whenever you listen to a song and you get goosebumps and you just feel it.
Yep.
What she's expressing is, like, she's never good enough. Like, she's just never good enough. No matter what she does, the way I do is not good enough for you. I'll tear my heart out doing all these things to prove my love for you. But in the end, it wasn't enough. In the end, I wasn't the person that you wanted. And during that time, that's how I felt. It just resonated with everything. I look back at that time now and these songs, and I still listen to these songs all the time, and all they do is bring joy instead of the pain that I felt. I no longer feel that pain anymore, and I'm really happy and proud of myself where I am now. It, like, at the time, it felt like it was never going to end. It helped me get through it, and all those songs did. Bjork's Pagan Poetry, that song, I was 18 showing people this song, and everybody was just like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah,
and
what is this weirdo?
Like, and what are you doing? It's like people didn't understand the message.
Right.
They didn't see what was happening in the video or the message. They just looked at it like it was weird. I've always been so introspective like that. Always, like, trying to find deeper meaning to things. I've always loved philosophy and asking questions and understanding things. I didn't realize that not everybody's like that. When I was a teenager, I felt like teenagers were doing different things than I was. Being super introspective and wanting to understand the meaning of life, like, in a bigger sense.
Not yet. Yeah. Some,
of course. And I met people that have, because those are the people I connected with.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a philosophy club at my high school, so you don't make a philosophy club unless people are asking questions about life.
I wish that there was a philosophy club at my school. I would have been in it, completely.
Yeah.
I took philosophy in college, and I made an A in it, and I was so obsessed with it. I was
and I mean, it shows through your songs. You're writing about philosophy. So tell me about your song, your third song, your final song you're going to play for us today.
So I wrote this song after getting to Nashville, kind of like a year after my relationship split up here, moved on and decided to stay. I wrote this song when I was dealing with my health stuff. I felt super alone and super isolated, and I wasn't myself anymore. I looked in the mirror and I was a completely different person. It was like a shell of a human. When I looked at myself like that, I tried to avoid the topic of death in the conversation. of it just kind of sends me into a dark space, but it is, you know, something that I was very close to.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what it's about.
All right, let's take a listen here. This is Normality, original song by Angie Jayne.
Scared to see the altered image of the heroine, blinded by the obstruction, trapped into oblivion. Damn the cycle, the synapses that she her moaning, the internal melodies that break her. Normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. Yeah, normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. Yeah. Faulty mind falsifies perception of time that repeats and rewinds. She's a broken record that skips on both sides. Can these scratches be mended? Otherwise, normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. Yeah, normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. Yeah. I'm the only one who never loved me now. I never loved me Normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. Yeah, normality escaped reality. Her mortality was only in actuality. You love me now.
Ooh, Normality by Angie Jayne, everybody. Well, thank you so much, Angie Jayne, for joining us here on the Songs We Carry. I'm so glad you guys come on today and tell me all about your songs and about the songs that you love. If you'd like to follow along for more artists and their songs, you can subscribe here to the Songs We Carry. And I hope we get to see you in here in a couple of weeks. Thank you again, Angie Jayne.
Thank you.